Most of the time, economists think about economies as having finite resources, and it's basically competition for resources. For ideas, it's not. Thirdly, you're saying that actually the beauty of ideas is that you can unleash progress, which can transform how we live. But fourthly, we can't do that just by relying on the market. Is that a fair précis?
Absolutely.
Okay. I was awake, I was listening.
Good.
So what does that mean for climate change?
Actually, this reminds me of Greenspan's remark. If you think you understood what I said, I must have misspoken. Good.
Well, there weren't even any.
You understood. Well,
there weren't even any ands in there.
Okay.
What does that mean for climate change, though? Because there's been a lot of extremely apocalyptic, very depressing presentations and discussions this week.
Yeah. Well, these two parts of the message cut in different ways. I went back and looked carefully at the story of the fight against the chlorofluorocarbons and the fight to protect the ozone layer. There were a lot of almost apocalyptic predictions at that time that we couldn't survive without those chemicals.
And that was when? That was...
well, the action was taken under the Reagan administration.
Yeah.
So George Shultz, who was the Secretary of State, in the United States, we banned the chlorofluorocarbons. And then we negotiated a treaty worldwide that led all countries to ban the chlorofluorocarbons. And there's a little bit of ongoing work about enforcement. If you've been tracking this, there have been some places that have not been enforcing that ban, but we'll get that right. So it was only in the time of the Reagan administration where we had no trouble saying that we got to protect the ship. We can't destroy the layer that protects us from dangerous ultraviolet radiation. And it doesn't matter if firms are making profit selling these chemicals, we're going to stop it in the United States, and then we're going to get other countries to go along. And it wasn't that hard to solve. And in fact, it wasn't that hard to come up with substitute chemicals either. And this is the message about ideas, that once you're facing a ban or you're facing, say, a very high tax, people are incredibly clever at inventing around that, coming to some other solution. So I don't think it will be that difficult to address the problems, to sharply decarbonize our energy system if we just create incentives for people to figure out how to do it. You think about it, we've had enormous success in figuring out how to extract more fossil fuel out of the ground with fracking and all of the kind of supporting innovations in that space, which, by the way, government research played an important part in facilitating, but which the market then perfected. If we could just take all of that energy and innovation and cleverness and direct it at something that would actually be beneficial. I mean, this is a clear example of something which is harmful on net. We don't want to have more hydrocarbons that we can burn because, if we burn them all, we're going to just fry the planet. So that's innovation which was profitable but which is harming the planet. If we just steered the innovation towards things that are actually beneficial, it won't be that hard to solve. So I think, one, we shouldn't be so pessimistic about solving that problem. But two, we really have to take seriously this notion that it can be profitable and harmful, and we need to have a way to just shut those things down.